Today in history. It's July 14th, and we continue our journey to the past.
Is that your sound effect for traveling to the past?
Yeah, you know the time machine normally has that pew sound that brings you back.
Nice. We have two events to share with our listeners today, and we'll get to it in just a moment. But first, here is my quiz question. One of the most famous cartoon families set in the Stone Age was, number one, the Rolling Stones, or number two, the Flintstones. The question once again. One of the most famous cartoon families set in the Stone Age was, number one, the Rolling Stones, or number two, the Flintstones. So, if you know the answer, you can put it on our Bundy board or text in on your cell phone, #1045. That will cost you 51 to win an Usan. And now let's find out what happened today in history. Today in history. In 1910, William Hanna was born. And in 1946, Benjamin Spock's Baby and Child Care was first published.
네, 1910년 오늘은 만화가 윌리엄 한나의 생일이었고요. 1946년 오늘은 벤저민 스파크의 Baby and Child Care라는 책이 출간된 날입니다. Okay, we begin today's journey to the past with the birth of a man who gave us some of the most memorable cartoon characters in history.
And he was William Hanna. We can see his photo there on Poinan Radio. He's there with Fred Flintstone. And who's the bear on the left side?
Isn't that Yogi?
Is it Yogi Bear?
Yep,
okay.
Yogi Bear.
Well, yes, in 1910, that's when William Hanna was born, and he co-founded with Joseph Barbera the most successful TV animation studio in history, Hanna-Barbera, which produced staple and iconic programs such as the Flintstones, the Smurfs, Yogi Bear, as you just mentioned, and Scooby-Doo.
Yes. These are just some of the titles that have become cultural icons of their own, and they have been featured not only in millions of TV screens, but also on films, books, and toys. And during the 1960s, Hanna-Barbera reached a global audience of more than 300 million people, and they have been translated into at least 28 languages.
Oh, unbelievable. Can you do a Scooby-Doo impression?
No, do something, but I can sing like...
Hello, Shaggy.
Oh, that's good.
Not bad,
That's a
right?
good one. That's a good one.
Hanna and Barbera jumped to stardom through their first joint work. Tom and Jerry. You remember Tom and Jerry, right? Mm-hmm. There they are on Poinan Radio, the lovable cat and mouse. That was way back in 1940.
I used to love that, but after being a parent, you see that's kind of cruel,
Yeah,
Tom and
right.
Jerry.
It's true, yeah. But kids love it, don't they?
Yes. Well, this was soon followed by two TV shows that established their names in the industry. The Huckleberry Hound Show and the Yogi Bear Show, and their success paved the way for the most successful TV series of the 20th century, the Flintstones.
Used to love the Flintstones. Gosh, I used to watch that every single week. And as of last year, the Flintstones was rated as the second greatest TV cartoon of all time after The Simpsons, of course. And here is a clip from the Flintstones.
Oh, boy, good old Sunday. Nothing to do but lazy around and read the Sunday paper. Oh, honey,
Yes, Fred?
did you see the Sunday paper?
No, Fred, it hasn't come yet. Oh, Mr. Flintstone, here's your paper. Catch. Did you get your paper, dear?
Yeah, and I'm lucky. It only comes once a week.
I'm lucky.
Yeah, in total, Hanna and Barbera won a total of 7 Academy Awards and 8 Emmy Awards, among many other accolades.
Yeah, it's true. When you watch something as a kid, that genuinely made me laugh there. Partly because it was funny, but partly because there's such nostalgia with that TV show. Yeah, I missed that. All right, so let's move on now to 1946, when the best-selling book of the 20th century, aside from the Bible, was first published.
And that book was Dr. Benjamin Spock's The Common Sense Book of Baby and Child Care, a manual on infant and child care that became an instant success. By 1998, the book had sold more than 50 million copies, and as of 2011, it has been translated into 39 languages.
Fascinating. This book helped revolutionize child-rearing methods, and mothers everywhere relied heavily on this book.
네, 자녀 양육에 아주 큰 도움을 준 육아 상식 책이죠. One of the most important teachings in the book was Spock's advice to all parents to have confidence in their own abilities and trust their instincts. 네, 책에서는 부모들이 자신들의 직관 그리고 본능을 믿으라고 조언을 했습니다. In fact, the book begins with the line, "Trust yourself. You know more than you think you do."
That's a great piece of advice, isn't it? Because I guess if you're a new parent, you're constantly wondering, am I doing the right thing, right? You're terrified, I guess.
But not only to, the parents, but I also say this to my English students, you know. Trust yourself. You know more vocabulary than you think you do.
That's right. Well, Spock was later on in 1990 named one of the 100 most important people of the 20th century by Life magazine. Pretty fascinating, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. A lot of my friends have kids these days, and there's so many theories out there from what they tell me. There's so many books and so many ideas about what is right and what is wrong. And I always say, well, I don't know because I don't have kids. But people were raising kids long before there was books around. There were books around on different theories, and they raised them okay. So, I guess it's that advice. Trust yourself. You kind of know what to do, I guess.
I think
right?
many books are made to just give you confidence, to reassure you that you're doing the right thing.
I think in a lot of cases, though, people start second-guessing themselves because this book says this theory and this book says the opposite theory. So what am I supposed to do? They get confused, I think, right?
우리의
Trust yourself.
본능을 믿는 것, 우리가 알고 있는 것, 특히 부모들은 그런 것이 있는 것 같아요.
yeah.
네, 자신을 스스로 그렇게 좀 너무 의심하지 말고 자신의 능력을 좀 믿는 것도 중요할 것 같습니다.
All right. So that's it for today in history. Before we wrap it up, the answer to the quiz. The question was, one of the most famous cartoon families set in the Stone Age was number 1, the Rolling Stones, and number 2, the Flintstones. Those were your options, and the answer is number 2, Yabba Dabba Doo, the Flintstones.
정답은 The Flintstones였죠. 네.
And that's it for today in history. When we come back, we'll be talking sports. Paul Kim joins us in the studio. Here's Seal. Walk on by.